That everything started, all matter, time, space, and energy, at some point in the past.
He bluffed.
That means that something had to start it. And that something had to be immaterial, timeless, infinitely powerful, and even personal.
He bluffed the space part. You can't make space out of anything, and you can't erase it. It just simply is. It's an infinite whole, okay? It's immaterial, it's timeless, it's infinitely powerful, and it's only personal because it creates a universe, which is an interactive system. So whatever you put out, you get back. Karma. See, the problem when they're talking about space didn't even exist, the space within the universe didn't exist because everything was so dense. But the space without the universe was certainly there. So imagine everything's just dense. It's a dense sphere, okay? It's a dense sphere. There's no spatial value inside of it. I mean, there's no particles that have any whole of space. Like any physical matter is mainly empty space. But right here, all the particles are so close together, there's no empty space. But on the outside of it, of course, there's space right on the outside of it. So this had to be placed in an area. The area had to precede its existence. Now when it expands and starts breaking apart into many different pieces, now you're going to get spatial value that's within it. So now you have more than one thing relative to each other. Now that spatial value can increase or decrease. It's not that the space is any different. The space is the exact same size. It's infinite. You know what I'm saying? The size doesn't change. But the space between two relative things will change. It'll either get bigger or smaller. But then scientists will claim, oh, this isn't the case. That's why they have paradoxes. They don't want to squash or resolve this situation. Either that or they literally just don't know physics. Apparently, if they never watched fireworks, whenever fireworks explode, especially a bottle rocket, the ones out here the furthest, they're going to fly out faster. The ones on the inside are going to fly out slower because at the beginning of the explosion, it had more power. So everything out here was hemmed up at the peak of its explosion. When it exploded, and as it exploded, it released the energy. That's the stuff on the inside that's closer, that doesn't fly as fast. You see what I'm saying? So it's all really simple to understand. It's just very subtle. Or they're complicating it to the point of confusion simply to keep people confused. Look, the physics of the universe itself fundamentally is very easy to understand. It's only something relative to nothing, okay? The nothing is space. The something is whatever you're calculating, whether it's a particle, a piece of energy, a piece of matter, whatever you're calculating within it. So this right here would be temporal. This is spatial. There's only two. There's a spatial dimension and a temporal dimension. The spatial dimension has always existed, but the temporal dimension is temporary. But since it's made of energy / matter, it's infinitely finite or finitely infinite, meaning it's infinite too, but it's going to transition from one phase of matter to the other phase of matter, back to the other, back and forth forever, literally forever. So it's eternal also. It just changes. It transitions. Space itself does not change. It is one size, infinite. Look, if you can count to 2, you can understand the universe. No shit. It only takes literally understanding how to count to 2, or literally understanding how to conceive a child. You don't have to have children, but if you know how to do it, then yeah, you can understand the universe. It's literally that easy. The universe is anatomical being. In fact, we get all of our anatomical or anatomy, our anatomical traits from the universe. Well, obviously, it's what created us. It's the creator, reactor. And since it's a giant nuclear reactor, it's interactive, okay? So this personal part, that's the personal part he's talking about. The space creates the universe, which is the interactive system that we live in. So whatever we do, we get back. It's karma. It's like a cycle. It's a circle, a cycle. When you throw something out, it's like a boomerang. You throw out something good, you get something back. You throw out something bad, you get something back that's bad. You see what I'm saying? It comes back to you, full circle. That's why karma's real. That's why the universe works with a circle. That's why everything has a spin and a rotation. See, the whole point here is the something-nothing paradox, okay? Space is still something because it's area, and it's nothing. It's a superposition. And I try to convey this to people. I have yet to see someone else understand this logic. I mean, it's a superposition. It's basically 2 states at the exact same time. The void of space is literally 2 states at the exact same time. It's something and nothing. And look, I'm just going to state this. If you take away all the human constructs and opinions from it, the universe speaks for itself. The basic, simple, fundamental root of truth is what is left. So God technically does exist and it doesn't exist at the exact same time, okay? It just depends on what your perspective is. And if a person claims to be an atheist and they sit there and get on here and they argue with somebody that's a theist about this sky wizard bit without bringing what I'm saying to the picture, then they're not really a true atheist. Now you might say, well, does that make you a true atheist, John? Yes and no, because I believe there's a true God, because it's the universe. That's the most atheistic perspective that a person can have at the same time being a true theist. It's a superposition.